Let me ask you a question that will change your life. If you were to stand before a potential employer and they were to ask you, why should I hire you? What would you say? You might not hear this stuff from your how to get a job class in college, but this is real talk, ladies and gentlemen. Real talk. In these tough economic times that I have heard my entire life people saying we live in, and it's got me thinking that maybe like just life is hard and the economy is tough, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, in these tough economic times of life, sometimes it's difficult to find a job, and some of you may be out there looking for a job yourself. I've known people who are like, it's impossible, you can't get one. And yet I have gotten many jobs since I graduated college. Is that just dumb luck? Probably, but I'm gonna give you some things that I have found to be a good idea when searching for a job. So here are 5 things that are gonna help you out when you're trying to get a job. Number 1, be really good at what you do. Okay, so if you're trying to get a job, say, I don't know, as a carpenter or a butcher or a baker or even a candlestick maker, turns out that like if you already know how to make candles and you're trying to get a job as like a candlestick maker, that might actually help you get that job. I know it's crazy, it's nuts, but there's something you can do. Number 2, be open to learn. Even though you may already know what you're doing when you go somewhere, don't be a know-it-all. Believe me, I know this more than anybody because I have worked jobs where I'm like, well, hey everybody, it's me, it's Kevin. Let me tell you how it's done. And in reality, sometimes whenever I learn something in school or learn something on my own, I learned it the wrong way. And so even if you feel like you already know something, be open to hear the way somebody else does it because they may actually do that thing better, faster, more efficient than you know how to do it. And now you've learned something. And if they do it not quite as efficient, then you can say like, let me ask you, I've always done it this way. What are the pros and cons to that? And they may say, well, the reason we don't do it that way is because A, B, C, because they know their ABCs. Or they may say, I've never even thought of doing it that way. That's fantastic. You just taught me something. You're my favorite coworker. Number 3, know somebody who works there. Most jobs that I've ever gotten are from having genuinely become friends or known somebody who works at the place, and then that person is already aware of the things that I know how to do or my work ethic, so they're like, yeah, totally, this guy is the guy for you. That happens all the time in the workplace, so be careful what bridges you burn. I mean, don't look at friends as like an opportunity to move up in the world, but also don't look at friends as dispendable. Number 4, be smart. Yep, and that's something that maybe you may not be able to do, but I've found that being a smart guy has really helped me out in getting a job. Not saying stupid things in my interview or just doing stupid things in life, you know, like not getting arrested or not killing people. Real talk here, ladies and gentlemen. And number 5, have experience. Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean having experience in the field that you're applying for. It may just be having experience being a good employee at your first job when you were 16. For example, and not to brag, but also to brag, my first job was working at a fast food restaurant, and I worked there for 3 years, and whenever I left to go to college, everybody was sad because I was awesome. Have a backup plan. Whenever you go into a job interview, I mean, sometimes it's like, well, this is the only job that I have even gotten an interview with, which if you follow all my other instructions, you will not have to worry about that. But also don't be too desperate for a job. Be aware that there are a lot of people who are probably applying for this job and you are applying for a lot of jobs. And so know that I'm gonna do everything I can to like, try to get this job, but I'm also okay if I don't get this job. And that'll keep you kind of reserved and at ease and not sounding too desperate. So even if you don't have a job, do everything you can to better yourself. Every job you have, whether it is for someone else or freelance work or a YouTube channel, use everything in life as an opportunity to learn how to be a better employee for whatever job you get in the future. And there's my advice. I hope you guys take it, and hopefully now I will have 100% employment rate for my fan base. For those of you who are employed, maybe you could check out patreon.com/SayGoodnightKev. That's what Matthew Bird, LegacyAtWealth.com, and Brandon Neely have done, which is pretty cool because they looked at my videos and were like, hey, this guy's doing a good job, and I know it costs money to make that show that he's making. I want him to have money because he's funny and awesome. And you know what? They weren't wrong. Hope you guys have a wonderful week, and good night.